to the Josh Johnson Show. I'm Josh Johnson, joined by my co-host and fellow stand-up comedian, Logan Nielsen. Logan, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm very full right now.
You're very full. What were you eating?
Both on life and this curry, and it oof. like all my movements feel off. It's really slowing me down.
Did you eat like a lot of it, or is it just like a dense curry?
So not only did I eat a lot of it, I ate it quickly because I knew we were going to record. And so then I was finishing up something else and then wolfed down these 2 bowls. And I mean, I really burned my mouth too. Like it was a trial.
I'm sorry, man.
I mean, I'm sure I'll recover, but also, woof.
I would hope so. If you didn't, there's something very wrong with you. If your mouth never heals. You remember in Chicago, I know you do, but Blaze Pizza?
Yeah.
It's for people that don't know, Blaze Pizza is basically Subway, but for pizza.
But also better.
But better.
You can't
absolutely.
do them like that.
No, I'm just saying, but it's that general idea of you're going down a line, having it made in front of you, adding what ingredients you want, and then they put it in the brick oven right there.
Yeah.
And it cooks like that. That place, I was able to get into the habit of every time I went there, because they bring it right out of the oven, they call your name, and then you have your freshly baked pizza. And everyone, the first time they go there, they immediately dig in and burn the shit out of their mouth. So I started getting in the habit. I'd go there with new people, and then we'd sit down, and they'd all like start getting ready, and I'd go, nope, wait a second. It's gonna hurt. And I would just make everyone at their table just sit for a second. I'm like, trust me. You're gonna want to trust me on this. I've hurt myself too many times on the fresh pizza.
You just put up a caution light right in front of their plate.
I have a little timer, a little egg timer that I set for like 2 minutes.
There's
and
nothing
bing,
that makes you feel like an idiot more than burning your mouth more than once on your food. Because the first time is like, look, that could get anybody. All right, anybody can get got with that. Because it didn't burn your hand, so why would it burn my mouth, right? Yeah. But when you burn yourself that third time, you have to wonder, like, should I be able to vote?
No, man, but you nailed it. It was like third time. But like the first time I went, I was like, oh my God, that's so hot. The second time was like, oh God damn it, I did it again. And then by the third time, you're just like, I need to learn. I need to be smarter than the pizza.
Yeah. Because even when you pick it up, when you burn yourself that third time, you start to you really change your perspective on a lot of things. Like you nailed it with the I need to be smarter thing, but I've also been like, how many more times am I going to burn myself? Like, because once I burn myself the third time, I'm like, I think I'm going to keep burning myself. I think I just don't know what hot is until it's been in my mouth too long.
Right. Yeah.
So no,
do I understand temperature?
Yeah.
Now I always thought I knew what hot and cold were, but now I'm wondering, do I know it?
Yeah. I mean, Blaze Pizza is
well, that's even called Blaze. It warns you.
Yeah, they tell you ahead of time. I'm sure
this before Blaze,
before Blaze, they were probably called like Robachinos or something, and they were like, everyone is burning themselves.
Everybody's immediately burning their mouths. We need to start calling ourselves. How about blister mouth pizza? No, 2 on the nose, a little gross.
Yeah. What about char mouth? And it's like that just sounds
like a Pokemon.
Yeah, and then they were like, how about Blaze?
Blaze, there we go. Come on.
Blaze sound good?
Yeah. Sounds like an American Gladiator.
Okay. All right.
Do. Because our pizza will punch you in the fucking mouth.
Because I'm telling you, man, I there's nothing. There are certain things that just truly, this goes without saying, but there are some foods where it is not worth burning your mouth for. Because I have burned my mouth at a Subway.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never gotten anything from Subway, even after they put it in the oven, that stays hot enough to even burned me.
Oh, dude, I don't even know what was happening. So you know the bread isn't bread, right? So the bread is already a lie.
What,
So
what do you mean that the bread isn't bread?
the bread isn't bread. All right, the bread is coming through with falsehoods. The bread is coming through with lies. The bread is coming through with treachery.
You really need to say more than that, though. What do you mean the bread
how
is
am
lie?
I saying more words and you're not understanding more?
Because the more words you're saying are just synonyms. I mean, why? What do you mean the bread isn't bread? Is it artificial?
Every country besides us knows that bread isn't bread. There are other countries where they've been like, hey, that's not a sandwich.
Right.
Don't lie to people.
That I stand by that. It's not really a sandwich,
Yeah. So then the bread is just an abomination. So then you get the bread, right? And the contents of the bread are so mysterious and elusive that I swear to you that I've had some Subway bread that did taste like bread. Then I've had other bread that was like, guys, this is glue. This is just bad. And so I got a Subway sandwich. I had them toasted. And then when it came out, it might as well have been magma. It would still look like bread, right?
Right.
But it was hot to the touch. It was still kind of soft, so it didn't toast. Like as hot as it got, it didn't toast. It almost like it was almost like it reversed back into hot dough because I was just holding this soft.
Put it through
gooey,
again. It'll just be flour and egg.
Yeah. I feel like if he had put it in for 2 more minutes, it would have just been a bunch of yolks on top of some lettuce. And so then I'm holding the Subway sandwich.
Do you even
I bite
use eggs
into
in bread?
it. Oh, do they? I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking crazy.
No, I'm
I
the
feel
one who
like
brought
they
up
use
eggs.
one egg because
Maybe
the
they do.
flour.
Because of the flour.
All right. Well, I was trying to help you, but no. I'm gonna move on. I'm just gonna wrap it up real quick. So then, basically,
You think for how much British Bake Off I'm watching, I'd know what goes into bread, but I don't. I just know they go, I've got to get in the prover right now, otherwise it won't be ready to knead. That's all I know.
It might be water and flour.
I think it's water and flour. I don't know if they put eggs.
I mean, maybe that's why I'm no person to judge because I don't actually know what goes in bread. I just know that Subway bread isn't bread.
Can't wait for the emails about how to make bread.
Yeah, right. Anyway,
here's what bread
bite
is, you
into it,
dipshits. Yeah, go ahead.
and it burned me so fully. It burned me. It was one of the first burns that I got of food where I actually tried to spit it out. Because you know how when you burn your mouth, you try to you almost cough out the steam because you're just like
Right.
all that stuff. And I didn't do any of that.
If you close it in, it gets hotter. So you have to just leave your mouth kind of open.
Right.
Give it a little steam shoot.
I didn't do any of that. I bit it, burned myself, and then just let it fall out of my mouth. And it took way too long to fall out of my mouth. This was not bread. This is insanity. Yeah. And so then I felt like it was so bad that I wanted to make a big deal out of it, but I didn't want to end up like the hot coffee McDonald's lady. You know what I'm talking about? Remember they handed her the hot coffee and she burned her whole midsection because the coffee was dangerously hot.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like what this bread was. It was like, you shouldn't be serving bread at that temperature.
Right.
All right. So then already that was your first mistake. Then you didn't even give it a second to cool. You just cut it and handed it to me. And I could feel how hot it was through the paper. And I was like, he just served me hot metal. And so then, it was my fault for biting into it, but I immediately tried to spit it out. But it was coming out of my mouth too slow. I feel like I burned. I did just burn my tongue and the roof of my mouth. I burned 3 lip hairs. 3 mustache hairs came with it. Just got singed on the way down.
Yeah, you smell burnt hair now.
Yeah.
Because the bread touched your face.
Oh, it was bad.
That's interesting, though. You bring up the hot coffee McDonald's lady, because that's always one I love telling people about, because everyone just knows it as some idiot burned themselves with coffee and then sued McDonald's because the coffee was hot. It's like, that's not what happened. She got 3rd-degree burns and went into shock.
Yeah, it's also great marketing on McDonald's part, because that's the story they told.
They did a great job of twisting it. But actually, she actually won. She got McDonald's to pay for her medical bills because she didn't want like a huge settlement. She just wanted like, hey, pay for my new crotch flesh, because they had to do skin grafts. Like they had to literally do skin grafts on her thighs, and then they found like, oh yeah, they were serving the coffee at it was like 100 degrees over what it was supposed to be or something.
Yeah,
that they're like, oh yeah, no one should be handed a liquid this hot ever.
Yeah, you might as well hand them a gun.
Yeah, a gun with cream and sugar on it. And and so she was in the hospital for like a couple weeks, and then she sued McDonald's to be like, "Hey, can you help me? It's my skin," and she won. So really, it's a story of a lady beating a corporation with her singed thighs. But
you may have to cut this. I'm just telling you now.
Okay, great.
But it is as terrible as what happened to her was, and McDonald's really put her through the ringer to get that money.
Yes.
They did not make it easy. It was a long, arduous thing. But imagine it to me, in a very removed way, it feels like when my friend's place got robbed and they had insurance, so then the insurance covered a lot of stuff, but it, like, in order to cover some of the stuff that got robbed, they just basically got money to buy new versions of that stuff, so they ended up having like a new, better TV for the TV that got stolen, and new window panes for the window panes that got broken and stuff like that. And I'm just imagining what it would be like to win that settlement and get a whole new pussy.
That is just... You took me on this kind of little walk. I was not expecting it to end there. I mean, yeah, you know, who says money can't buy happiness?
You get a new model. You get yeah. Grandma could be ruining men's lives with that new tight shit.
Yeah, she looks at her husband just like, and you think I never get you anything nice, you know? It's even worse if the pussy shows up in a box, you know? Yeah, here's your new one.
And just like IKEA, it's like missing 2 screws.
Yeah.
You got to send off for the other screws.
I have to attach the floor bin to the Gyorkenkarg? What is...
Oh, man. Okay. So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you believe in any sort of like clairvoyance, or like being able to see the future or have influence in any way on predetermined events? You know, like premonitions or horoscopes, any of that stuff.
I mean, not really. Like, I don't necessarily think I don't believe in psychics necessarily, but I don't know. There's some weird shit like I've heard of or witnessed. You know what I mean? Like I've had like relatives that have like weird, like they call somebody and be like, "Hey, you need to check on this person," and then they go check and like they were having a stroke or whatever, and this other person like,
oh,
you know,
wow,
yeah, my cousin had one of those. It was a weird one, and like she just knew that someone needed to check on one of our uncles. It's like, so like that stuff kind of like weirds me out of like, and then like really vivid deja vus are super weird because I kind of have them as dreams ahead of time. Like I'll have like a dream of something, and then that's where I'll have the deja vu later of like, ooh shit, this is what I saw like in my dream. And I know the thing with deja vu is like it's just something that can happen often enough that your brain just kind of, I don't know, recognizes it as the same. But so I don't know. That's kind of. I know it's a really non-committal answer I just gave you, but I don't necessarily believe in like looking at a crystal ball and be like, this is what's going to happen. But like that was Dracula. I don't know. I did.
Yeah,
Dracula
I was
voice.
like, why is that a vampire?
Call me now, and I will read your your tarot cards.
Yeah, I think
That was my Dracula Miss Cleo, by the way, is what I was doing.
Yeah, no, I could tell.
What about you? What about you? Is that
that impression is very racist to people who don't exist. All those Jamaican vampires. Ooh, we gonna get some emails. Y'all out here playing games. Okay. Hey, I just want all y'all Jamaican vampires to know that was not me. Okay. Ooh, you gonna be in trouble. Because I know at least one of them from Twilight gonna come after you.
Well, I guess I need to take this opportunity now to apologize to the Jamaican vampire community.
No, it's too late. You can't do the apology in the same episode you did the thing.
I gotta wait for the backlash. Then I gotta.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm glad you don't have Twitter because they be coming for you right about now.
That's true. Well, you can get a hold of me, man. So just call me now.
Oh, okay. We double it down. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a bad boy. I'm an edgelord, Josh. Come on.
Yeah. No. I.
Yeah. What about you? Believe in fucking sidekicks? What do you?
Here's the thing. This is genuinely, I think. You look at someone like Usain Bolt, right? So he is one of a handful of people, maybe 3 people in the entire planet that can run as fast.
Who's a Jamaican vampire? Yeah.
You're half right.
It was funny that you immediately then brought up a Jamaican person.
Yeah, no. I haven't disagreed with the way that you've been pulling these through lines together yet. I'm just saying. One day there's going to be a reckoning, and you're going to have to sit there by yourself because I warned you.
Yeah, but my dying words are going to be really great. They're going to really tie everything up in a bow. So,
okay.
Just saying.
No, I
what about Usain Bolt though? What were you saying?
Oh, I just look at him and people like him, and we can accept that out of all of the people on the planet, out of what are we at now? Like 8+ billion people on the planet. That only
is it 8? I thought it was like 7.
I thought it was still 7 too, but I think we crossed over to 8. I could be wrong though.
It's a lot of fucking people either way.
Yeah, that's the other disadvantage of recording this podcast and just sort of talking is that someone could be looking it up right now and being like, "This guy's a moron. It's still 7. Where did he get an extra billion people?"
If they've been listening the whole time and this is the first time they think we're morons, then good for us for tricking them for so long. So,
I mean, sure, yeah, that's true. But I look at him and the Olympians at his level, and it's like, okay, out of 8 billion plus people, only 3 people can run that fast, and we can accept that. But then if you tell me that someone has some sort of other ability, I'm like, no way. And it's like, maybe just out of probability, maybe out of the billions and billions of people, a handful of people have some sort of feeling or notion or whatever. I can accept that. I don't know if I fully believe in it as like a science or or spiritualism as something that is accessible to everybody. I think that we've proven for the most part that the spiritualism in the 1800s and early 1900s was a complete scam, and how they pulled those scams off. But I do think that there are little things I have heard, kind of like what you're talking about with check on this person, and then it turns out they were like, we do have little shared experiences of like, and maybe energy is the wrong word, but we do have that about each other. It's like that feeling when someone's staring at you and you can just feel it, even though they were behind you and you had no reason to see them. But For
And
me,
some people are more susceptible than others to like just the energies of other people. And I don't mean energies in like a like kind of a hippie way. I mean like the literal energy that comes off of creatures. And it's why dogs are so good at like sensing things around them and stuff. Just they're more attuned to that kind of electromagnetic field or whatever. It's people can be more susceptible. Like I think we talked about on a recent episode, but it's like why it's one of the theories of why some people go to like quote haunted places and they feel like, oh, I feel ill in this room. It's usually because there's a lot of bad wiring around there and they're super sensitive to that. Whereas someone else may not feel it.
Sure. So I think those types of things are possible. I imagine. I'd like to think that there's somebody out there who has those sorts of like feelings, like clairvoyance and stuff. But the thing that they can always feel is useless. Like they're just like, oh no, the guy on the bus next to me is about to fart. But then the bus is too packed, so they just have to sit there for the fart.
That's the only shit you can predict. Like that's gonna suck.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
All you can predict are little inconveniences from people.
Yeah. Oh, that lady's about to sneeze. I should back up.
Hey, well, in this day and age, that's life-saving.
Yeah, it could be. You have no idea.
My Aunt Debbie predicted what time I'd be born at.
What?
Yeah, my mom went into labor with me and dropped off my older brother with my Aunt Debbie quick, like when they were going to go to the hospital. Like she just started having like the beginning contractions, and they're just like, well, all right, let's go there. And then just out of nowhere, my Aunt Debbie said, that baby's going to be born at 9:35. And I was. It's a real thing, and it's because of that.
No,
my mom,
I
every
believe
year,
you.
every year on my birthday, my mom calls me at 9:35 a.m. because I'm the only one that she like knows the time I was born, just because. I mean, it's written down elsewhere, but my brother's, I just don't think that one just sticks in everyone's head because out of nowhere, my fucking aunt just lobbed this amazing, full court shot. 9:35 buckets.
Turns out your aunt was also like a midwife, so she just can tell from the contractions, like, oh, this is gonna be a 3-hour baby. It's gonna take a while.
Is that the spinoff to 90 Day Fiance? Is 3-hour baby? But yeah, so like that. That's fucking weird.
Yeah,
I have nothing more to say about it than that's fucking weird. Was that just a really lucky shot? Maybe. Did something tell her 9:35 in her head? I don't know. Never really asked her.
I wouldn't even want to know. I wouldn't even broach it. She might accidentally tell you how you die or something. You don't even want to know.
Would you? That's a question. That's one that always comes up with people. If you could know about your own death, would you want to? Like if you knew when you were going to die.
Yeah. I guess that then leads to the other question of like, if you found out, could you change it, or is fate sealed? And so,
right.
I guess if I could change it and it was something very dumb, then I would try to both find out and change it. But if it was something that was like a little bit more inevitable, I would just try to enjoy my life as much as possible up until the point.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like if this is like, oh no, you're going to die in this day no matter what. And it's like, well then I'm going to live for that day then. I'm going to do everything I can to just have fun and make people happy.
Yeah. But if someone was like,
and I don't got to worry about really saving money because if I know what day I'm going to die,
you're going to die at this club. It's like, oh, I just won't go. I already don't like clubs. They're too loud. Who dragged me there?
That's like the prediction is of a place I don't like going. Like I don't even like bars like that. Why'd I go there?
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned your aunt because I knew a kid in high school who in front of me. So I guess his parents were there, and I feel like this was for science class or something. The reason he was asking, but he was like, "Mom, what time was I born?" And she was like, "You were born right at noon." And then he was like, "Okay, AM or PM?" And she just did the thing you did. She just sighed. Like,
I mean,
she
that's
just
one.
sighed forever.
That is one that people fuck up a lot because people think that 12 p.m. is midnight. A lot of people do, and they're wrong. But
yeah, but he wasn't even doing that. Because the number wasn't 12.
He was saying which noon.
Said,
that's true. Which noon?
Yeah. She said noon, and he said, okay, AM or PM.
Yeah.
Which is a special type of dumb. Like, it wasn't as if...
Lunch noon or dark noon?
Yeah.
Which noon was I born at?
That dude, and then she went,
and disowned
she exhaled
him.
it was tobacco. Like it was a huge cigar. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know. I have been thinking about it a little bit just because, I have had my own run-ins with fortune tellers that have not been pleasant.
God, that is a loaded intro. I've had my run-ins with fortune tellers.
So, because I grew up in Louisiana, and so when I would go to New Orleans, and this is much later, this is like when I'm in college and going to New Orleans and stuff. When I would go to New Orleans, they're just in like French Quarter and stuff, and you're just chilling.
As somebody from Louisiana, how big is like the for lack of a better word, the voodoo stuff down there? And I don't mean like everyone's practicing it, but I mean like how much of it is put on for touristy stuff in New Orleans, and then how much of it is like still kind of a cultural thing circling?
It is. I would say it's closer to 50-50 than you think.
Really? Okay. That's
because I've met lots of people who genuinely, especially as the movement towards Wicca got big when we were in like high school and college.
Yeah.
I think that reignited a lot of the voodoo stuff that was in the South.
Okay.
And so a lot of it, if you're taking a tour, it's put on. Like a lot of it is obviously put on.
Yeah.
But then you do meet people. Like I've met a few people who genuinely practice like voodoo witchcraft, like old religion type stuff. And out of the three of them, only one of them like scared me, where I was like, oh, okay, I don't know if I should be hanging out here.
Yeah.
Because it is a thing of like, there weren't any shrunken heads or anything, but it's like you do have a lot of dead stuff at your house, and I just don't want to be here for it.
Yeah.
I mean, just be like dried bugs and stuff like that. And I was just like, I'm good. I don't really need any of this around me. And so I remember I went to New Orleans and I didn't even want to get my fortune told because I just think it's a scam, right? My friend paid for the 5-minute consultation, whatever thing, right?
Yeah.
And so then if I didn't just at least stand there, I'd be wasting it because it's like he already paid and was like, it's not for me, it's for him. And so then I do respect this hustle though. So then he pays for my fortune to be told, and then the fortune teller lays out the cards, like these are tarot cards, right?
Yeah.
Lays out the cards, lays out the last card, and goes, ooh, and then scoops up all the cards, and then walks away. And I was like, I think you just paid for me to now believe in that thing, because now I got to track this person down. To be like, what did you see? And it's like, what salesmanship? What really keep them coming back for more?
Maybe it was like a card that was showing your friend killing the fortune teller, and she's like, well, I gotta go.
No matter what it was for the fortune teller to be like, oh.
Yeah. Maybe what if just fortune tellers get bored, and so like every 30th customer they just do something like that?
Yeah, that's how they break their shift.
They flip a card, they're like, you gotta go.
oh, you need to get out of here now. You need to go now.
So you said that you think fortune teller is kind of a scam. Which
the curbside ones, I feel like if you this is what it feels like for me. When a genuinely incredibly talented comic has been doing stand up for like over a decade, and they're still just sort of like chilling at mics and not doing anything else.
Right.
It's like that level of skepticism for me where I'm like, all right, like maybe, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't know most people's comedy from anything else. So then if you are really good, I'd love to see it. But like, if you're telling me that you haven't progressed in 12 years, then like, I don't know if I believe you. The same way that if you really have those powers of clairvoyance and you're willing to sell it for $5 to tell a stranger to go to college, it's like,
right.
Yeah, I don't think I believe you.
Now, I want to follow that analogy a little bit further. So then what would be the next, like if we're going comedy equivalent from like open micer, what's the comedy equivalent, the next step up versus the next step up for psychics?
I think those people who genuinely off of recommendations of other people go to people's houses and tell their fortunes and stuff. Like that's a real thing.
So that's now being like
that's like a showcase comic.
That's like a showcase comic. Yeah. Now you're getting some showcase spots. You're making some money.
Yeah,
maybe you're getting on the road maybe a little bit here and there. And that's what the house cleansers are.
Yeah. Because I'm telling you, man, though, there's money in there. If you
you're gonna have a Rolodex of places that need, time or whatever they use to. What is it they mostly use to? Is it that?
Oh, I think it's time. Yeah.
Time, right?
And Sage.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. But then after that, it's the same as comedy. Then after that, it's identical. It's like you get your own show, you get a national tour.
Yeah, maybe a Netflix special.
Yeah. And then you've kind of burned yourself out. You actually don't want to rise too fast. Like you know those people who are just like, have you ever seen one of those things where the person's just like horrifically wrong?
Oh, and like the TV prediction stuff?
The TV prediction stuff and so especially in the 2000s, there was a huge movement of like almost like akin to back in the day spiritualism where people would have these like live shows.
Yeah, that's what John Edwards hit that whole thing. The where he would go up to people and be like, I'm getting something with a J.
Yeah.
And he would just do that over and over again. And, as they've found with most of those, it's just having, a research team. It's pre-interviews in line. There's all these little tricks they do to get information out of you to make you go, oh my God, that is my uncle.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I feel like I would just
You knew
go,
I had an uncle. Like, yeah. You can...
Well, when you said your mother was one of 7, I took a wild guess that they weren't all girls.
Yeah.
No, I've watched some of those, and it's very funny to me when...
My mom was very into some of those. When those
really?
Were on. Yeah. Yeah. My mom, she's on this weird spectrum of mysticism. She there's clearly like she kind of believes in some magic a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But and then also she can be very pragmatic. I don't know. She's in that. She's really got one foot in either camp. I think waiting to see who turns out to be right.
Sure. Yeah, man. Because I cannot imagine if there have been psychics this whole time and the world just is the way it is. That would either mean that like, you know what I feel like it is? I feel like if there really are psychics and the world is the way it is, they either are only ever using their powers, right down to each human being that has the powers. They're only ever using their powers for personal gain and just keeping it to themselves and taking care of themselves and their family. Or they sound too dumb to listen to. They freshly burned their mouth. And so now they're trying to tell everyone, guys, we got to... Guys, we got to get out of the building. We got to get out. Oh, Oh, did anyone else have that pizza? It's so hot. It's so hot.
They're about to. Pearl Harbor is about to get bombed.
Wait, what are you saying?
The Japanese are. About to bomb Pearl Harbor. I need water. I need
What are you saying about my knees?
No, the Japanese. Oh my God, it's on fire. Why would you cook that hot? No, it's Pearl Harbor. Oh.
I'm just saying, I feel like maybe they...
Or, here's my thought. What if they can predict the future, but then they can also predict that if they tell anybody how they're going to make it even worse. So they got to be like, I got to just keep this to myself.
I suppose so. That actually would be a dope movie premise.
That's an interesting
to
movie
be
idea,
like,
right?
Yeah, you
the psychic who knows he can't listen to his premonitions, otherwise it will just screw up time.
What would be really funny about it is that all of this stuff is happening on this like Inception Christopher Nolan level, but the actual story world is taking place with a guy just like sitting on the train. Because in his mind, he's just thinking about what would happen if he did the thing, and then what would happen, and then what would happen, and then what would happen.
Oh shit!
And
I just realized
it
that
would just
movie.
be him sitting there.
That movie exists. I just realized,
What is it?
and it sucks. It's the movie.
Are you going to say Next?
Next
With Nicolas Cage?
The Nicolas Cage movie. Because
Not quite though.
What do you mean
Not
not
quite,
quite, though?
because with Nicolas Cage. Okay, so
but it's the same thing though, where it's like it ends. Spoiler alert for Next. But it goes through this whole action movie of him predicting stuff. But then the whole conclusion is that he realizes if he meets this girl, it all goes that way. And so he walks away from her. Like, that's kind of how it all goes, isn't it? Or it takes a huge step back and undoes a lot of the movie, where it's just, you realize that's all just premonitions.
Yeah, I feel like it did to the middle of the movie, though.
Maybe.
Maybe not when he met her, but also... This whole
butterfly
tangent
effect
was
too.
Yeah, sure. Butterfly effect is a much better movie.
Damn it! This movie's been written and it wasn't good either way. I had a good movie in my head. I remember it being fine when I first saw it when it came out, and then I'm sure if I watch it now, I'll be like, "There's major plot holes in it," which is fine. But when you have a movie that has like strict rules, and then you at one point you just decide to not follow the rules, because that's like how he gets out of prison, is by the movie breaks its own rules.
I feel like we started on a talk about if we believe in premonitions and stuff, and we've now moved on to spoiling every movie from 2005.
Well, you know, I may not believe in psychics, but I could have predicted that would happen.
I knew this would go off the rails enough.
I knew it. I knew we weren't going to stay on topic.
Anybody want to know the international treasure? I'm crazy out here.
Hey, I'm holding back right now to going off on butterfly effect more, so, you know.
Yeah,
respect my
this is
restraint, please.
honestly the movie version of the air hockey conversation for listeners. This is this. I can only imagine if you really thought we were going to go somewhere interesting. And then we were like, yeah, but our movie idea.
No,
Someone watched our worst pitch meeting happen in real time right now.
Oh, I would love it if we did a pitch meeting where in the room we realize the movie we're pitching has already been made and we don't like it. Imagine that, like doing that, like at a conference table with studio execs, and then be like, "Oh no, wait, that's like Next. Oh, that wasn't good. Never mind. Thanks for having us."
Yeah, I'm so sorry to take up literally any of your your day.
Now those Danishes out front, are those for anyone or?
I find when you have to ask, they're not for you.
No, they're not. You got to be confident and take them.
People usually tell you when the Danishes are for you.
I don't know.
No, I've just never been to a place where I could have the Danishes and no one told me.
Yeah.
Any place that I've seen Danishes and then wondered if I could have one, I was not important enough to have a Danish.
I don't know. That sentence just tickled me. That was up there with either be a magnet or don't. It was just, it just had that same energy to it.
It's way too many words to put on a T-shirt, though.
It is, but whatever. I like cumbersome merch.
Is that the name of the company?
Yeah, that's my new merch company, Cumbersome Merch. We make T-shirts and stickers that are all just fucking heavy. Just everything. It's just hard to lug around. All the they're extra thick. You get real sweaty in them. Anyway,
Do
what
you
else?
think?
What else
Oh,
about
what were you
magic?
gonna say?
No, I was just gonna segue back into magic. What's up?
Oh no, just I did get a fortune cookie one time that predicted the next day that I had.
Really?
Yeah.
How so? What'd it say?
Okay, so the fortune cookie was, that esoteric language they all use and everything. So that was like, it was like you will.
I don't know if I'd call it. It's fake esoteric.
Sure, but it's still an attempt at the thing. Like,
No, for sure.
it's not.
It's trying to sound profound, but when you think about it for any amount of time, you go, "That's the most vague shit I've ever heard."
Yeah.
Anyway, let me see what my lucky numbers are.
It was like you will have to be more flexible than you've ever been before, which was like weirdly direct, right?
You don't want to hear that
it was
either
also
when
like
when you're eating
Yeah,
Chinese
yeah.
food too, getting full. You don't want to think about. I gotta limber up
Right.
now.
right.
I got the meat sweats. I'm gonna lay down after this. I gotta start
Right.
stretching out my hammies. Shit. Am I about to get
So-
chased? Am I about to get chased right now? Tell me. You have to tell me, fortune cookie, if I'm about to get chased right now. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, just it was like you will have to be more flexible than you've ever been before, which is already like a real full sentence for a fortune cookie.
Yeah. And
like
could
when I
mean a
broke it
variety of
open-
things.
Yeah, when I broke it open, I was like, this needs to be also on the back. You can't really fit this many words.
Yeah, I
On
needed
one
a
side.
deciphering on the back.
Yeah. And so, so then the next day, I realized that I had a date, and this particular date, I was supposed to cook at home for the date.
Okay.
Right? I forgot that up until like 2 hours before.
Wow, that's a
Yeah.
big thing to forget there, bud.
Because in my mind, I was like, oh, yeah, I never asked where we were going to go. And then I looked through the text again. I'm like, oh, no, it's here. And it's like, and I got to cook something like now.
So I'm assuming you offered it then
Yeah.
and forgot that you offered to me. Because that shit would be on my mind ever since I offered it.
Yeah, but it had been like a week or something. And so then I was just looking like left and right nonstop for like different things that were already in the fridge, right? And nothing that could make a meal was there.
Yeah.
Nothing that it was nothing that wouldn't look like I learned to cook in prison.
Right, yeah.
So then I had to run.
Prison spread.
Yeah, right. I had to run to the grocery store, and then was trying in the moment to decide what I was going to cook. So then
Right.
I could have just gone with something easy like spaghetti meatballs, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, it didn't occur to me that I could just do something simple, because then in my mind, if I went too simple, it would look like I cooked up 2 TV dinners or something. So, I really wanted to like do something impressive. And so I settled on a chicken parm,
Okay.
which already not crazy, not like it's not a souffle, you know what I mean? But I was getting the ingredients I was getting were too, like, I could have just bought the sauce, you know what I mean? Some cutlets, whatever. I still in my mind was like, it didn't occur to me that I could just simply buy the cutlets, bread them, heat them up, bake them, whatever,
Right.
get the sauce ready, throw the sauce on, throw the cheese on. I went way back. I went like, I just bought a whole chicken.
And now I got to learn how to cut its head off and pluck the feathers.
Right. So I just bought this whole chicken. And then I didn't buy the sauce. I bought like tomatoes and basil and like pepper and like just like I passed the sauce to get this stuff.
Wow. So
And-
you, having completely forgotten that you were going to make dinner at home, you decided now's the time to learn how to make everything from scratch.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Because in my head, I was like,
I give you
I can
credit
do
for
it.
the confidence. I give you.
it wasn't
know it-
confidence. It was a panic.
Yeah. I was trying to dress it up for you, but I've never in a panic bought a whole chicken. What do I? Oh, I guess this. So I admire how unearned confident your panic attacks are.
And so I rushed back home, and luckily, it's not like too far. But I've burned 30 minutes, so now I have an hour and a half, which already does not seem like enough time.
Doesn't leave a
to
lot
get
of
this-
room.
Yeah, to get this whole raw chicken in any form of edible without poisoning both of us.
Right. Wait.
And
So did you decide to try to cook the whole chicken?
Yeah, in my mind, it was going to be quicker to cook the whole chicken than cut a piece off and cook it.
Obviously not. Fucking obviously not.
Because I
It's
also
so
thought
much faster to just cut a little piece off and cook
I
that.
thought I thought the juices would flow better and stuff. I thought like
Wow.
and so then I was trying to do so many things at one time. I was like grating the cheese because I had bought a block of the like Parmesan cheese. So I was grating the cheese onto a cutting board, and then I was also chopping up the tomatoes and like dicing some onions, all the stuff. And then the chicken was like, right on the stove and everything.
Right.
And then I don't remember what I was trying to do that I had to move the chicken, but basically I was also trying to make this like appetizer that was also breaded. So maybe it was like mozzarella sticks or something. I was trying to make something that was like
You went
that
for an
also
app,
breaded.
too. Jeez.
Yeah, this was a bad idea. And then I end up moving the chicken.
I'm
and
now really glad that my panic attacks are I just kind of sit down and freak out for a while and don't decide to just plan a 3-course meal from scratch. I'm glad I panic differently.
3 courses, please. So anyway,
You already got apps in a whole chicken.
I had to move the chicken to make more room because the kitchen was not like a real kitchen. It's like a half kitchen. So then
Where was this at? Was this
It was in Chicago.
was this your studio?
Oh
Or-
yeah. This
Okay.
is, and so then I move the chicken from the stove to the fridge, and the fridge
Right.
door is just staying open because I'm just in and out of it, like grabbing stuff, putting stuff back, everything. And then I am trying to. I'm trying to basically get these mozzarella sticks ready because in my mind, this is also very backwards. But in my mind, I was like, if I can at least get the mozzarella sticks done, I could always,
Yeah.
finish the mozzarella sticks and then be like, oh yeah, and I had a great follow up, but we're gonna have to order out, like, because at least there's something. You know what I mean? Take care of the easy stuff first, right? So then, as I'm moving the chicken, it's on a plate in the fridge, right? Fridge door is just open. I don't know what happened to make this happen, right? But it just starts to, maybe it was because of how I quickly placed it there, but it just starts to almost roll out of off of the plate and out of the fridge.
Yeah.
And so then I make a jump to catch it because I'm like, this chicken cannot fall on the floor.
Right.
Like I'm already not making a good dinner. You know what I mean? And I've done all the stuff, like where you take the syringe and you put it in the chicken and stuff like that. Like I've already. What do you call it? Is it basting? What's it called? It's basting,
but like the way the hand signal, like your hands are so far apart in the miming you're doing, it looks like you're harpooning it.
Yeah, I was just shooting spices and stuff into the chicken.
What is this hand movement you're doing?
I don't know. I didn't know what I was doing then.
It looks like you're trying to line up a pool shot, but you've never played before. Like,
and so basically, it starts to roll off of the plate and out of the fridge, and so I make this move to catch it. So I catch it in my left hand, and I'm leaning to keep standing where I am because I didn't jump for it to hit the ground because I felt like it would still either fall on my face and I would get like raw chicken in my eye, or it would just hit the floor. So I'm holding the plate with the chicken on it. Then, for whatever reason, once again, I cannot explain why this happened, but I think it was because as I was making the move to put the chicken in the fridge, I was also pulling the oven door down to put the mozzarella sticks in. So now I've got my chicken in my left hand extended out to one side, and the oven door is continuing to fall. Now, like I said, I've mentioned this in previous episodes about my studio. My studio was not made for people to live in, okay? So if you pull the oven door all the way down, it like that is the kitchen. Like you now have to step over the oven door to like move around, right?
Yeah.
So then
I think that's a lot of studios, a lot of small apartments that just have like here's a tiny kitchen. You can do one thing at a time.
Yeah, and so then I catch the oven door with my foot because I'm still trying to keep like room for myself in this general like kitchen area. And so I'm holding the mozzarella sticks in my right hand. I'm holding the raw chicken in my left hand, and I'm holding the oven door up halfway with my right foot. And then I thought to myself, wow, the fortune cookie was right. And then I dropped all of it.
I forgot how this fucking started. I'm gonna be completely, and you just tried to blow past it. I'm just like, yep, I had to be very flexible. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I ended up dropping the chicken on the floor.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then I'm now past sidekicks and fortune cookies and everything. How'd this date go?
I mean, not well. There was nothing to eat.
Did you even get the mozzarella sticks done?
It looked really bad. It looked really bad.
Oh.
It looked like I shot a bunch of mozzarella sticks in the face. Because I don't know how they get mozzarella sticks to close. Yeah. Like mine just looked like two dry logs with all the mozzarella seeping out when I pulled it out of the oven.
Okay. You did breading around them and everything?
The breading was what held. So, the breading was holding like a log, and then the mozzarella just seeped out, and it...
Okay. Did you cover the ends, or did you just roll it on the sides?
I don't remember what I did, but whatever I did was wrong.
I mean, I don't know why I'm asking. I don't really have notes to make it better. I'm just trying to...
Yeah. I mean, when I pulled it out, it was really bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, how do you feel like you could have better heeded the fortune cookies warning? How do you feel like you could have used that warning of tomorrow you'll have to be more flexible than you ever have been?
I think I should have just ordered in and thrown all the takeout boxes away.
I should have just lied.
Yeah, 100%.
Is what I should have done.
Because now I bought a whole chicken, dropped it on the floor, and everything that I squeezed into it is just shooting out. It was like a firework,
like a poultry water balloon.
Yeah, because it hit the ground too hard, so then it just exploded in my kitchen. So that's the other reason I didn't get anything else cooked, was because I spent that whole time that I had left cleaning up the walls and the floor because I was like, even if I cook the most amazing chicken parm now, it's going to smell like raw chicken juices all in my kitchen.
Oh, man. My favorite thing about doing this show is how we can start with any topic, of even starting with mysticism, the idea of premonitions and psychics, and it still ends with you just dropping shit.
I've never, like, I didn't even know a chicken could do that. Like, you would think the chicken had way more holes than the one that I was putting all the juices into.
Right.
Because like it legit it was like someone put a stick of dynamite in it, because it, like, obviously it didn't explode where there was like a chicken wing over here and a thigh over there. But
hey,
like,
if anyone would find a way to do it, it'd be you, bud.
But dude, when I tell you, I could swear that I dropped it from like maybe slightly above waist height. So it's not like I threw it down or like I was holding it up and it
spiked it in victory.
Yeah. And the way that it shot, like just turmeric and like chicken stock juices all over the drawers. Mm-hmm. Like my sink wasn't like I had to clean my sink because it, like, some of it like was it got everywhere. It got like in the fridge door because the fridge is still open. So now there's chicken juices. The fridge door. I was so angry. I was so upset because at the moment that I caught everything, I really felt like I was styling on life.
Right.
Because it's like, ooh, I caught the chicken. I got the mozzarella sticks. In my other hand, I got the oven door. Like, I felt like, I felt like a single dad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Really just doing it all.
But then
juggling all the responsibilities.
I dropped the chicken and got chicken juices on my knees, and then the mozzarella sticks burned out. Like they just leaked immediately.
Right.
And so then I just had a bunch of chopped tomatoes on a cutting board next to some Parmesan.
And a sheet of melted mozzarella.
Yeah. I didn't even have, like, if I had lettuce, I could have made like some sort of like caprese salad or something. But I didn't even have any lettuce. I didn't think to get any.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that settles the debate. Fortune cookies are real.
Yeah.
It's actual magic. He should have been more flexible. He needed to be. All right. Mystery solved, I think.
Yeah, if you ever get a fortune cookie that's like a whole sentence, you should burn it.
Yeah. Do you think that solves it or just gets it out of your mind at least?
I would be interested in what burning a fortune from a fortune cookie would do.
Well, I mean, probably nothing, since they were just something invented by a guy in San Francisco. But and they have no ancient mysticism wrapped up in them at all.
Sure, but I'm just saying, maybe if I burned it, then, I would have been able to at least throw together some hot dogs.
Why, you think that would have made the date go better?
I think having
as if she came over to your apartment,
any food prepared would have made it better.
I don't know. For me personally, I'd rather know someone screwed up trying to make something good than if I got there and they're like, "Yeah, I made hot dogs." And I'd be like,
"Okay,
really?
Would you rather?
Yeah,
have a hot dog or not eat?" Those are your options at 7:00.
Well, no,
we can always go somewhere.
Yeah, so we can always go somewhere. I'd rather do that than have apartment hot dogs with a person I'm trying to get to know.
How are apartment hot dogs worse than you said that like they're worse than like baseball stadium hot dogs?
When you're going to someone's apartment expecting dinner and that's what they have, that's just a letdown. Because you don't even have to like cook those.
Can I tell you though? Can I tell you right now? Just look, I'm just trying to be honest with you. Let me tell you right now.
Go ahead,
you sound a little bit like a gold digger. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right. Because I'm out here trying to do my best. Okay.
Yeah. And you're throwing chicken to the ground.
The whole chicken. All right.
Yeah.
I already told you. So
yeah, you bought the whole chicken. You had no idea what to do with it. No, see, this is how you get and you do that, and you try to vamp to find something to say back because you know I'm right. You know I'm right.
You're not right.
You
though.
screwed up by buying a whole chicken and having no idea what to do with it. That's on you. That's your fault.
Look, all I'm saying is, if I attempted to cook you a nice dinner, right? Then you want to come over to my place and scoff at my apartment hot dogs, as you call them.
I wouldn't scoff at them to your face. I'd eat the hot dogs and be polite, and then we'd never go on another date unless you were like
trifling.
Unless we really hit it off, Josh. We could really hit it off.
You're trifling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I'm out here doing my best. Okay. I hope you like your dry mozzarella sticks because apparently your standards, I can't beat them. So let me give you what I got, which was the crispy, burnt, breaded part of the dry mozzarella.
Mm-hmm. To go with my floor chicken.
Chew on that.
Yeah, you really got me, bud. You really dunked on me by making me eat the food you fucked up. You really got me. You really got me with that conclusion there, buddy. Yeah? Oh, you think you're so high and mighty? Eat this horrible thing I made. Yeah. You're a bad person. What does that even... I don't even know what you're trying to prove.
Yeah. No, in real life, the date was fine, especially after I explained what happened. It was funny because after I explained what happened, there was this moment where what you're talking about should have happened, where this person should have like scoffed at me and been like, wow, this guy does not have it together. But then maybe it was just the way that I described it. They acted like it happened to me. So then...
Were they like, I'm so sorry?
Yeah. Which is actually really nice of them.
That is really nice. No, and I'm not saying they should scoff at you and write you off. I'm just saying... You're going to start at a deficit if you invite somebody over for a nice dinner and then all you have is hot dogs. That's what I was trying to convey.
Can I tell you, though?
Yeah. Because there might be some people who got married because of that, because of bad apartment food.
Just this week, actually, my girlfriend went to go get a COVID test. And while she was getting her COVID test, it was like raining. And she was like had to stand in this line for a really long time, longer than it took me to vote. And it's pouring, and so it's like, man, if she doesn't have COVID, she's definitely going to give me a cold because this is not good conditions to say you're about to go in a medical facility, right?
Right, yeah.
And so then she texted me and she was like, hey, do you want to start dinner for me? And I was like, yeah, sure. Like I tried to play it off like cool, like, hey, it's okay, babe, I got you, And then immediately after she sent that text, I panicked and I was like, what did we even say we were going to have for dinner? So then I
bought a whole chicken. Anytime Josh panics in a grocery store, just this.
See, you trying to bring up old stuff.
Yeah, old shit that we covered minutes ago.
But then I started this curry, and I had watched her make the curry a handful of times, right? She's made it plenty of times, but I've only ever really paid attention a few times. And I tried to do it myself, and man, it was like, so basically she gets in the apartment, she's soaking wet. I feel so bad. And then she's like, have you started it? And in truth, it's almost finished, right? So it was wrapping up as she got back. But then I was like, listen, okay, I don't know if I burned the couscous or not. And I'm going to tell you, I started boiling the water, but the water won't boil right, okay? So then I tried to boil another pot of water, and then I just had to pour that out. So maybe I'm trying to boil too much water, okay? But I chopped up the carrots, chopped up potatoes, got sweet potatoes in there. I did everything I was supposed to do, but the curry won't act right. And then once again, she was like, oh, it'll be okay.
And then at that moment, the fridge just popped open and a chicken rolled out.
Yeah. Blood everywhere. Can you imagine? Because that was the thing. It took me so long to clean up all that chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was that, like, even if there were specks of blood on me at the beginning of the date, just look. I know what it looks like, but it's chicken. I swear.
Yeah. Anyway, you just stay here. I'm gonna go clean myself off. Here's a cookie sheet of cheese.
Yeah, I'm gonna clean
Peel
myself
off whatever
off.
you want.
You just stay right there. You don't move, okay? You don't move because you
You
might
don't
step
move.
in chicken juices.
Don't move.
And then she looks over in the corner, and there's just a chicken laying in the corner like it's been shot in the face.
Oh, I thought you meant the cooked chicken. Like you didn't even pick it up. You just pushed it to the side to deal with later.
No, it wasn't a cooked chicken. It was raw.
Right.
Yeah.
Should have been more flexible.
Fuck you. Thank you so much for listening to the Josh Johnson Show. If you want to follow us during the week when we're not doing the show, when we're just living our lives, you can find us what?
I just
What?
like that. If you want-
That's true.
I know, and I just like the explaining of if you want to follow us, not at this moment, but if you want to know what we're doing aside from this, no, it was a good explanation. It just I don't know, made me chuckle. Where can they find you, Josh?
You can find me on Instagram at Josh Johnson Comedy, on Twitter at Josh Johnson, Facebook at Josh J Comedy, and YouTube at Josh Johnson Comedy, where we are going to be posting full episodes of this very show.
Might
and if
even
you're
be
looking
this
for
one.
Logan,
Really depends. Really depends how Logan's editing goes. Maybe this is one. We'll find out. If you want to find me, I'm on Instagram at Logan M. Nielsen. And if you want to email us here at the show, you can email joshjohnsonshow@gmail.com. We're actually coming up this next week. We're trying something different. Instead of our Monday minisode, we're doing a little mailbag Monday. So we're actually going to be answering some emails and talking about some reviews there. We're going to try it. We're just going to see how it works as a separate thing. Because we're getting a lot of emails. We want to keep up with them and give you guys your credence, because we really, really appreciate you guys reaching out. We're continually amazed at, at how many people we get reaching out to us. And I'm going to say this one. We haven't mentioned this in a while, but our theme music is by Brad Kemp. He's a great music producer, and he's part of a hip-hop comedy group called Handsome Naked, and they have a new podcast that they just started. It's on YouTube. It's called Triple Teamed with Handsome Naked, and you can watch that. And eventually, I'm not sure when, but me and Josh are both in separate episodes, so you can find us there. But I wanted to give him a shout-out because his music's great, and it was a fun time. And now I'm going to be done talking.
should I stop recording? I was cleaning leaves off of this guy's roof. Like, I didn't even know this guy, right? And I was cleaning leaves off his roof for a friend who had, like, hey, you need some extra money? Do you want to do this thing, right? So it's like a friend of a friend.
Is this is in Louisiana? Or?
This is in Louisiana, yeah.
Okay.
And so cleaning the like leaves out of the gutters and just the debris off the roof and branches and stuff. And while I'm there, I slip and I fall off the roof, right?
Jeez.
And I fall off the roof. And luckily, this is one of those like novelty houses where the roof is like way too slanted and way too long. So it's not actually that, like, I'm still scared because I'm falling, but it's not actually that high of a drop, right?
Right.
So when I fall, I like land on a bunch of flowers, like this flower bed, and I could tell the flowers were special when I landed in them. I knew as soon as my back hit those flowers, I was like, these were grown especially by someone whose hobby this is, because they look too nice
Right.
to just be something naturally occurring. And I got out of the thing, I got out of the like flower bed and was just freaking out, trying to figure out how to both like get back on the roof because I don't know why, but the dude like took the ladder with him. So I climbed up
He
there.
got you up there and then he left with it?
He got me up there and then he left with it because I guess he needed it for something else. He only had one ladder. And so I didn't know how I was gonna get back on the roof. And then I also didn't know how I was gonna make this like flower bed situation better. And so then I saw what's the one? Is it still a garden hoe, the little handheld one with the three spikes?
Uh, I don't know if that's called a garden hoe. I'm not sure what that's called. A
But
clog?
basically, yeah, I grabbed one of the gardening tools that was like still laid out in the yard, and I just started digging these like tiny little holes and then putting my hand in the hole and just trying as hard as possible to make it look like a paw print. Cause I was like, if I can make enough paw prints now.
Trying to convince them some sort of vermin destroyed the
So then I was like, I was like,
Sorry. Keep going. I'm sorry.
I started like poking all these holes and then like getting my hand in the hole, trying to like mold the hole to look like a paw print, and
Yeah.
then I did like maybe like nine of them. Like honestly, in the time that I did this, I really could have cleaned the roof, right? But I had to
So,
like,
I was just thinking of just like you spent way more time with your fake meerkat colony than you did with your
yeah,
actual job.
cause then I was like so freaked out that this is like a freelance job and I've done more damage, like I've done more harm than good, that maybe they wouldn't pay me. So I was like, I need to
Hmm.
come up with something to where they're like, this wasn't his fault or he couldn't have, whatever, right? So
Right.
then I'm making the paw prints. I finally make what I think is enough, leading from a little bushy area to the bed that I like fell in. Then I have to figure out how to get back up on the roof. So then I try a cartoonish amount of things. I actually tried to like, I don't know why I thought I had this balance. So the spade
Hmm.
that you'll dig with.
Yeah.
There was another one of the like both mostly all the garden tools were like actually laid out, and so I grabbed the spade. I hit the spade into the ground at like the sharpest angle that I could, and then I tried to climb it up to the roof.
Oh,
So
was it was
like
like a full like long handle one,
it was a full long handle.
and you tried to
And
fucking
so
just Buster Keaton up it, like just
yeah,
like hoist yourself on a
100%.
stick.
And so I tried to like get myself to the top of it, and I got myself to the top one time and looked like a cat just like trying to balance on the top of this like garden hoe. I mean,
Going
I'm
back and
calling
forth.
everything a garden hoe. I'm sure
Yeah.
it wasn't a garden hoe, but at the top of the spade before I would fall and fall and fall.
Hmm.
And so then I freaked out again because I was like, all right, I've done all this damage with the spade. I've done all this damage with the paw prints. And if I can't get back up on the roof, I'm not going to be able to convince them of like any sort of story, right? And so finally, I'm trying to remember how it happened. I basically like grabbed the fence and then got to the top of the like tried to like angle myself on the top of the fence with some balance and then jump from the fence to the lip of the roof, right? And I
Hmm.
tried this like three times and I hurt myself every single time. Like I was more bloodied every single time than than the last time. And so finally I get up. I'm already like wiggling, but I just bend my knees and jump as far as I can and grab the gutter. And when I grab the gutter, I hear a little pop because my weight is like too much for the gutter.
Yeah,
And so I hear
gutters are
this,
real flimsy.
yeah. So I hear this pop and I'm like, I need to start grabbing like roof immediately. And so then I grab a little piece of roof and the little tile of roof that I grab starts slipping. And so I'm just like in an Acme cartoon grabbing for dear life for anything they'll actually hold. And then I finally grab some like sturdy tile and start like making my way up. Like luckily I was still working out a lot when I lived in Louisiana, like while I was like still in college stuff. So I had been doing enough pull-ups that I could get myself at least stomach level up the roof and then just start kicking my way up, right? So then I like kick my way up. I'm back on the roof and I have to start doing the leaves and the branches and all the like gutter stuff all over again, right? I finish that and then I finished that, and then the guy gets back, and the guy gets back like almost perfectly around the time that I'm finished, right? And so I was like, I still haven't fully formulated how to sell my story in my own head. Because I've been thinking about it the whole time I've been doing leaves, I've been thinking about like, how am I going to convince this person that whatever happened, happened,
What
right?
happened here wasn't a cartoon catastrophe.
Yeah. So then I,
Joshy's big adventure. Like I just like, like just that title screen of you with a hoe and a destroyed garden.
but basically, the guy rolls up and I'm done. And in my mind, the best thing to do was to fall off the roof again. And and so I went to the lip where the loose tile was, and I made like a very audible like whoa.
Oh no!
And then I kicked the tile off of that lip where the gutter popped and the tile was slipping, and then I like try to land on my feet but land like right on my butt. Like I it couldn't have it the only way it could have gone horribly is if I had landed on my collarbone or something. But I fall. He
There's
runs.
multiple ways for it to have gone poorly. You were
Well, I,
you were you were purposely falling off a roof.
but I'm just saying for the angle that I chose because he
Right.
still couldn't
Okay.
see me whenever I did this. Like he was still at the front of the house and I'm towards the back, right?
So just walk me through again. Why, in your mind, was the right decision to re-fall off the roof? Why did you think like, oh, this'll cover it. This'll solve the situation. If I
It's
just
gonna
throw myself, oh, it comes back. Okay, all
it's
right.
gonna make sense in a minute.
Okay.
So then
Okay.
So then I fall, right? He hears me yell and fall. So he runs down the side of the house to me laying on the ground, right?
Yeah.
And I had to like extra sell it. Like I Family Guy, like try to put one of my legs behind my body, like really look like something might be busted, right? And then he was like, "Oh my gosh, are you okay?" Like, "Oh, I never should have taken the ladder." Like all this apologetic stuff, right? And I'm like, "I'm okay. I just feel so bad about that. I mean, I don't even know what it was like." And I'm trying to get him to say it in case there's anything he's been dealing with. Like, is there like a dog or something you guys have been have been dealing with? Because this animal, I was finishing up, right? And this animal runs over and is just like bounding around in your yard. And then I was trying to throw something at it to get it to stop, and that's when I fell, right? Because so that way he would connect me falling with my story, right?
Right.
And then he was like, it worked out perfectly because he was like, that damn fat cat. He's like, there's an obese cat in the neighborhood that nobody wants to claim, but it's been wreaking havoc for months. And I was like, oh, that must have been what it was. I didn't get a good look at it, but I was trying to throw a stick at it or something to get it out of those beautiful flowers. And he hadn't even noticed the flowers until I said that. And then he looked over at the flowers and he lost it. He was like, my wife's gonna kill me. And I was like, I was correct in trying to make up a story because I've never even met the wife or anything, but I know that these flowers are just as important as I felt like they were when they were in my back.
Well, you definitely got that cat killed, though.
I mean,
you put a target on that cat's head.
I mean, maybe, but like no one knows when the cat comes and goes. It's one of the fittest obese like street cats is how he described it. Because he's like, it's fat, but it's still fast.
Well, yeah.
So ideally, nobody would, come after it.
I mean, I commend you, like the leaps of logic that you took to be like, I know how to cover this. I never would have thought, like, I don't know, I'll dig holes. How old were you? So you were in college at this point.
Yeah, I'm like 20. I'm like 21.
You're way too old to have this fucking Rugrats adventure. No, I think, the cat did it.
Okay, this is like contentious thing. So just stick with me for a second because it's weird. It's weird that people are weird about it. Okay, so my friends are having kids, right? A lot of them are starting to have kids, so they're all having the conversation about like if they're gonna spank their kids, right? And people have very strong feelings either way. Some people think like, oh, if it's rare and if it's warranted, then like a spanking here and there is not that bad. And then some people are like, no, this is full on abuse. This is like you're creating trauma and everything. And I'm not even telling anybody how to feel. Like I know that I was spanked when I was a kid, right? And it made sense that I was spanked because we were poor. Do you understand what I mean? Like there was nothing to take away. Like there was a year that my mom and I shared a bedroom when I was a little kid. What was she gonna take away? The floor? It's like, rest of the month you float from now on. And if I catch you not floating, that's your ass, all right? Do you see what I mean? Because I was in a very weird position at one point because I didn't have much money, but I got a scholarship and my family pooled their money together to make the ends meet for me to go to this Catholic school, right? So I was a kid with no money going to school with kids with real money. Like money where they don't need to read. You know what I'm talking? You know that proper money that you can't mess up? You know that old money? And so, I remember there was one time we were sitting around the lunch table and and this one kid, I said something about my mom, like spanking me for something, and we were still in junior high or whatever. So I was talking about a time from before, and then this other kid was like, oh, don't worry about it, Joe. My dad still spanks me, right? And I was like, ooh. Tyler, you have a pool. That's abuse. Do you see what I mean? Because Tyler, you live in the guest house. I've been over. You live in the guest. There's things to take away. My mama doesn't have an option. Like this is odd. Like that's kind of how I feel about it. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe it's right. Maybe it's wrong. I'm sure it's steeped in generational trauma. Like I'm sure it is. I'm being sincere. I think that there's a thing where when you don't have means, right? When you don't have the extra time to think about the extra things, you don't think about the extra ways to like calm something. And I want to be clear, my mom had to spank me like a couple times in my entire life. So I'm not, over here like my mama did what she had to do. Like that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that genuinely, I think sometimes you see these different thought patterns because there are people who have the means and they have the access to things like, like family therapy and stuff like that. And then there are other people that work 3 jobs as a single parent to make ends meet, so they have to get to it quick. And that's not even me saying it's like right or I always agree, because I think that it's hard to gauge. It's got to be very hard to gauge with like there's a thin line between a spanking and a beating. You know what I mean? Because if you spank good enough, yeah, I mean, you gotta be real careful. Because if you've ever been spanking a kid and anybody yells, "You got him," you already went too far. Like, But I don't know. I've thought about it a lot because, I got into an intense argument with my friend who was basically like, it's abuse every time, no matter what, no matter the circumstance, right? And then I was giving them a circumstance of like, look, maybe this kid isn't talking back. Maybe this kid was bullying another kid. Maybe this kid hit another kid, right? So then maybe their parent was like, you actually put your hands on someone, you hurt them. And so I'm going to do this thing now, not to like punish you because I'm going to enjoy it, but to show you like this is the way that you feel is the way that they felt. And I'm someone who loves you. So the world out there, they don't know you. So they may not love you. So this is a lesson that you might learn eventually from someone who doesn't care about you at all. And that's how I posed it to him. And he wasn't hearing it. And I get it. Because, everyone has their own experiences and stuff. But I feel like no matter your feelings on spanking, we've all met like a grown man that deserved to have their ass beat. And I think the thing for me is that could it have happened earlier? And I want to be clear here. I'm not like blanketing, co-signing anything. I'm asking questions genuinely. I'm asking questions because people are very split on it. You know what I mean? Like make some noise if you got spanked as a kid. Okay, so just roll with me here, right? So you got spanked as a kid. Now, make some noise if you spank your kid. But you see how some people are like, I got spanked and they really took their day out on me, so none of that for me. And then there are people that are like, I got spanked and I'm fine. And so I think I know how to gauge. So everybody has like vastly different approaches to it, But once again, we've all met a dude who like, damn. He really probably had it coming sooner than today. But then how do you gauge that, Because I get what some people are saying. Some people are like, look, this child is just trying to make their way, and they might not even respond to it the way. We're all individuals. So even though you have your kids and your kids have a part of you in them, they're still going to be different people. So then how do you make sure that this kid doesn't walk away with the worst lesson possible, the worst feeling possible from this thing that like worked out for you, but it might not work out for them? That's a scary thing, Like, I used to I used to be like very nervous about moving to New York, right? I moved to New York years ago, and I remember when I got to Brooklyn, I saw a fight when I got there, and these were two kind of big guys. One guy was like medium sized, bigger than me, and he was muscular, and he looked like he knew how to fight because he did all the stances. He knew where to put his shoulders, put his fists, he could kick. He's either trained MMA and boxing or he's watched all the movies. Like this guy really knows how to move, right? And then the big guy was just a big guy. Like he was that, you know that type of big where you can't tell if it's fat or muscle? You just know it's in the way, right? You know that he can move things where he wants them to go. Just a big guy, right? And I don't know exactly what they were fighting about, but it felt like one of those fights. It felt like one of those fights where they really wanted to fight their dad. Have you ever been in a bar and then you see a fight like you can smell it brewing? And then you're also like, I think if you would like punched your dad years ago, none of this would be happening right now. Like if you just had one good row with him, this would be a quiet evening, right? And they were going at each other, and some of it was punching, some of it was kicking. Now the guy that was like on the bigger side and muscular, he really knew his way around. Like he was even like doing the hop of someone who knows how to fight. You know that little light foot hop where you're like, they're about to get into it, okay? And then there was one moment, because I walked out of this bar because I was doing a show, like a bar show with my friends, and then we were all walking out, and we all saw this like happening. It would start on the sidewalk, and it spilled into the street, and basically, he's doing the hops, and he goes for a lunge. He goes for like this big punch, right? And when he goes for the big punch, the big dude moves out of the way and grabs his wrist. And they both look at it. They both look at like, he grabs his wrist and looks at it, and then he looks at it like, uh-oh. And then he grabs his wrist, and with his other hand, he grabs the back of the dude's belt, right? Pulls him forward, knocks the guy pretty much off balance, lets go of the wrist, passes the belt to his other hand, lifts him up, and then spanked him in public. And like, I had never seen somebody with a beard get spanked before. Like, and he's really like floating and everything. And this guy is like letting them have it, right? Like one after the other. This dude spanked him so much he took a break. There was one point where he was holding him suspended in the air by his belt, but also like, and then after like the 36th lick, lets go of the belt, dude drops to the ground. He gets up and he sort of limps off, a lot of expletives and stuff, but it's kind of done. And this guy goes back into the bar we were just in, because he wasn't watching the show. The show was in like a back room. This guy was just in the bar, and I had no idea like what the fight was about, because once again, we had already walked out and it was already happening. But he walked back in, and I'm like, I'm a curious duck. You know what I mean? Like, so I go back in after him, and I'm like, hey man, are you okay? Which is a weird thing to ask him, but it's like, are you okay? What was all that about? And then he turns to me and goes, I look like a lot of dudes' dads. Wow, sir. That's an interesting thing to figure out about yourself. Because dude was like 30, but he just had that dad head. Like he He had the dad bod of being big, but he had like a dad, like he had a full beard with like this part right here was doing a little bit of like Vegeta action. Like it was coming back a little bit, and he looked like he could be a dad, right? And so he's like, no, I just look like a lot of dudes' dads. And I was like, wow, how'd you find that out? And he was like, oh yeah, you know, after the 4th or 5th fight, you start to put things together. And he told me that sometimes he goes to the bar with his friends, because his friends are with him and they don't help because they know he can handle himself. And so go to the bar with his friends, and you know, he's like, after a while I can just tell some guy starts looking at me and he's just giving me a look like you can tell he's a certain level of drunk, but he's looking at me like, huh? And then he comes and he starts jawing at me, and I can tell it's not about me because I was just sitting here, I wasn't doing anything. And then he wants to fight, and he either swings at me first or he says, let's go outside, but this happens pretty often. And I was like, wow, are you a dad though? And he was like, yeah. I was like, do you spank your kid? He was like, oh, no, I would never.
Boston, please make it loud for Josh Johnson!
I saw where the lottery, at least at the time that I'm speaking, has worked its way up to $1.8 billion. That's a lot. It's so much you wonder, should I?
Absolutely.
That's how they get you. You know, growing up my entire life, I knew people who played the lottery. And I don't know if I know any winners. I just know a few people went missing. And like hard missing too, not even a funeral. Like, I don't know, $1.8 billion. That means even after they tax you, tax is gonna take about half of that, right? Even after they tax you, you're probably gonna be a billionaire. That's instantly a billionaire. And I'm not saying this to like, you know, be down on anybody or be disparaging, but it's like, who plays the lottery? People who need the money. So imagine needing money and then becoming a billionaire in like a day. A day. You needed 252. You had rent and a car note, and now you're a billionaire. A billionaire. You gotta capitalize it's $1 billion. Even if they get you real good, even if they tax you to death, you're still high millionaire. And with some good investments, you'll hit billionaire over time. Look at... I don't think y'all understand. This is the thing, we think we understand what billion is because billionaires keep playing in our faces. But we have no comprehension of how much money that is because we're people. Forget like multiple, a billion. You can't even waste that, $1 billion. Imagine Oh, I had some bad investments. $1 billion's worth of bad investments? That's enough to topple a small country. No, because I look at the billionaires of the world and the high millionaires, so almost billionaires of the world. And in a couple of the examples that I'm thinking of, right? If you make it to billionaire status, whether it's through valuation of your country or your company, or whether it's through valuation of your company or just general assets and everything over time, if you hit that billion status and you didn't grow up with a ton of money, like if you're already a billionaire, it almost doesn't count. You'll see billionaires, they're the sons of billionaires, and they'll be like, I made my own thing. It's like, you didn't though. But you didn't. Like you never really did anything. Like it's, and look, I know you probably worked really hard, but your hard work had a $1 billion head start to it. So it's just, you could make a bad idea worth $1 billion. If you put enough money behind it with enough time. Look at Crocs. And look, that's not me. No, look, that's not me just dunking on Crocs for the sake of it. I'm saying as a shoe, you are so unprepared to go into the world. Every time it rains, you kind of feel it. I've had so many fights with my friends over Crocs, and it's not about the Croc or the design or whatever. It's about the fact that it's a Swiss cheese shoe. The holes make it a shoe problem. It is not like okay. I live in New York, and we have far too many. I don't even know the number. We have more, I believe, rats than people. I'm pretty sure there's probably 10 million for every 2 people in New York. And one time I was walking with my friend who had Crocs on. Ill-advised, especially in New York. If you want to wear Crocs in like, I don't know, like a beachy town, go ahead. Be comfortable. Let your feet breathe. Wearing Crocs in New York City, wearing Crocs in New York City is like wearing a shirt that on the front and the back says, "Please rob me." That's the level of prepared you are to go out into New York City when you're in Crocs. My friend was in Crocs, and we were just walking down the street, okay? Just nice little stroll, having a conversation. And then, as you would expect when you are walking in New York, as it is almost law when you are walking in New York, a rat ran across our path. Some people have to deal with deers in the road. We have to deal with rats on the street. And this rat running across our path judged it wrong. Was a little late. Usually when you're walking in New York, a rat will run across you real fast up ahead. This rat must have had some hesitation. You could tell this rat was like, okay. You know what? I'm not going to do it. No. I'm not going to do it. Actually, no. You know what? I can do this. Let me get. Ah! And then it ran across our path. But by the time it ran across our path, we were at our path. And this is upsetting. Sorry if you're eating. But the rat ran across our path. But by the time it decided to cross the sidewalk, we were already there. So this rat ran right over both my feet. And then it came time to run over my friend's feet. My friend in Crocs. And this rat looked exactly like, you know, with football players doing that spring training with the tires over here. The rat was nimble at first. It got through 2 holes, no problem. Third hole, rat tripped. Animals don't trip like people. You know what I mean? People might trip, be a little embarrassed, but we get up and we know we have a day to continue. If a rat gets tripped up in your crock, that's the rat's whole priority right now. Because to be fair to rats, they get trapped all the time. How is this rat supposed to know this isn't one of those rat traps that take you to rat heaven? And so this rat starts freaking out, starts like trying to pull the other leg out and everything, but then the next leg gets stuck. And so now this rat is, it has been 0.0 seconds, by the way. This rat has already tripped and is stuck in 2 crock holes. And is over here fighting for his life to get out. Is doing whatever he can. This rat over here, And look, I'll be honest with you right now, I don't even know if I imagined it, but I swear I heard it. I heard where the rat got free because I heard the little pulled the little foot out of the crock hole and then ran away. And then my friend, who had just been defending his Crocs, had the nerve to be like, I'm like, yeah, cut it off. You need to cut it off. Ran over my foot too, but look at me. Intact. And so you have even if it's not the company, the CEOs of these companies reach high $1 million billionaire status. You know? And it happens usually over time. Usually, if you don't come from money, you reach billionaire status or high millionaire 20, 30 years of your life. And being a psycho as well, like working 80-hour weeks and like just doing crazy stuff. And sometimes you get ahead because you cut some corners or you cheat some people or whatever it is. But then when you turn around and you have this like multi-billion-dollar valuation, you did it. And it took all that time, but like you're, 30 years removed from when you started. These billionaires, these millionaires, the ones that don't come from like extreme wealth, takes 20, 30 years of your life to get that money. And look how evil they are. I can only imagine. I can only imagine what happens if you get it in a day. Look. For any amount of lottery winnings and for any amount of like money, when you dream about money, that's what we do. Someone's like, what would you do with $100 million? And you might even have a list already. What would you do? And you think you know what you would do. And I'm not even saying that people are lying when they say these things. I believe that people really believe this is what they would do with the money. But then you're a billionaire in a day. Nothing can prepare you for that. Nothing can prepare you for that much money being that much power in a day. I don't know, I know what I'd like to think I would do with that much money. Because the amount of money that you've been living on is the amount of money you need to live. Like that, I know that in the US, like in America, that's like blasphemous to say. But it's like, even when I was broke, the amount of money that I had, which was not enough, was somehow still enough because I'm not dead. Do you know what I mean? And so obviously, people need to get by. People deserve a higher quality of life and everything. I'm not saying this to say that if you're barely scraping by, that's all you need and be done with it. I'm just saying that sometimes you can get in your head, especially when you get a little more, that you need a bit more, and then you need a bit more, and then you need a bit more, to the point where people around the country who make six figures say they don't feel rich, right? And some of them making the high six figures. They've done studies about this and about why your brain never turns to rich when it's you and it's over time. You'll see millionaires say, well, I'm comfortable, but I'm not like rich. And then you're glad that it's through a screen, or else you might. But I don't know. I mean, what would that do to a person? A day, a billionaire. Who knows? Maybe money really does change people in a way that you can't even fathom until you have that much money. Maybe you get $1 billion in a day, and out of nowhere, you don't even recognize yourself. $1 billion. And you're just like, wow, huh. I could use some slaves. I think that... Look, I don't know what makes you so evil as a billionaire over 30 years, but I can only imagine it's exacerbated when it's overnight. Like, I can only imagine it becomes instant when you get the money instantly. That's crazy. Because look, we all have a list. Even if you act like you don't, you do. If you want that much money overnight, you might have a list. There might only be 5 things on your list. Hey, I want to take care of my friends, take care of my family, want to travel, and I want to help in a way that I've been helping, but I didn't have the money to really push the help, right? So that's what, 4, maybe you have 5 things. But then, after you do all that, maybe you have some money left over. What do you do with that money? Can you make another list? Can you make a bigger list? Maybe. But if you can't, you just keep trying. Oh, you know, let's fix the roads. Let's try to fix the school system. But then there's still some money left over. What do? I think you might lose your mind. That's probably why billionaires are like that. Because think about it. Look, their list didn't have any of the stuff I mentioned on it. But like it... But even though it didn't, it clearly had things that they cared about, whatever those were. And maybe they were only related to their company. Maybe they were only related to more business and getting more money. But even as those things got checked off and you tried to keep up with a list, you tried to make more goals and you were meeting the goals as fast as you were making the goals and everything. And then everyone around you is a yes man because they want some access to that money because they're also trying to climb, right? And then you finally have gone down the list so hard that you're just like, maybe Mars? What about Mars? Mars would be cool, right? Like, Mars would be dope. Does people starve? Mars, though, that would be dope. And it's like, yes, it sounds dope. And I hope he goes. I hope he does. Like, that'd be fire. If he went to Mars, spend your fortune as the richest man in the world to be the poorest man in the universe. Because I guarantee you spend your whole life and then you finally, let's say it finally happens, you have a voyage to Mars. And let's be as generous as possible. And let's say that like the rocket works, you already sent enough stuff there that it's not like not quite the movie The Martian, but it is like that because you are going to be by yourself. You know? No, I'm just, probably. And then you land in Mars. Richest man in the world. Lands on Mars, gets out, is walking around and realizes that Mars is just like Arizona with some extra tent to it. Like, looking around like, oh, okay. Whoops. No? Because money is... We'd like to think that it's more than this, and sometimes it is. You can point to points in history where it is more than this, but like America is money. Land of opportunity. Opportunity is access, but it's also money. Money is how we define identity. Maybe you don't as a person. Maybe, I don't believe any one person is just their job or their net worth. There are things that you are that are deeper than all that stuff that's going to pass away. But that is how we as Americans define each other, is money. In fact, when you get your identity stolen, it's because they mess with the money. I don't know of anyone who said they got their identity stolen and it was in a Lifetime movie sort of way. I have yet to meet anybody who said they got their identity stolen and they know it was stolen because they came home and there was a dude who looked just like them hugging their wife. And they were like, honey, it's me. And then she was like, And then the imposter was like, don't listen to him, honey. It's me. Can't you tell? And like, hey, what are you doing in my house? And then the kids run in and they run up to him. Hey, Dad, who's this stranger? What? Kids, it's me. And they're like, we don't know you. Our dad's been home all day. And then you have to fight with this dude. And then, there's somehow a gun in the house that nobody knew about. And then y'all struggle, and then y'all are spinning, so then nobody knows anymore because y'all were wearing the same thing. Who's the real husband? Who's the fake husband? And you're you're just running around, grabbing the gun, knocking the gun out of each other's hands, and then, there's some bounty commercials in the middle because this is a Lifetime movie. But then you pick up the gun and you're like, get out of my home, stay away from my family, right? And then the imposter goes, and then runs up to you and y'all hug one last time. The gun goes off and nobody can tell who was shot until what is it? Until the Nair commercial. Like Nair, that one, like... I've watched a lot of Lifetime with my mom and my aunt. And so then they come back from commercial and y'all are both backing up and you're like, Somehow in a movie, whenever somebody has been shot and someone shot someone, they both react the same. I always find that very annoying. The person that pulled the trigger is like, but then the person who was shot is like, And then y'all back up. The gun falls. It falls in the middle. We don't need it anymore. One of you was shot. And everybody's backing up, and then you see some blood. You see blood, and then you see blood because y'all were hugging when it happened. So whoever got shot also bled on the other person. So it's been about 5 minutes, and we still don't know who was shot. Very frustrating. And then finally, one of you goes, you'll always be my family. And the other one turns around and looks at you. And the wife and the kids go, Dad! And hug them. And then credits start rolling. the picture gets a little bit smaller because they got to roll the next movie right next to the other movie. So it's like it gets that little half-size thing where the credits are rolling, which actually sort of ruins the end of the movie in case there was any other note of anything that the director wanted. But anyway, and through the credits, through the little tiny half screen, you see the person hugging the family, look up at the camera and go. And identity is never stolen that way. It's always stolen in relation to your bank account. No, because that's who you are. That's who you are to the bank, and that's who you are to any business entity is your money and the number that you are. You know. Now look, I would like to think that everybody knows that everyone's more than that, but that is how you break down. That's how you're calculated. You know what I mean? You're moved around as a number, and the numbers that make up the numbers you have are how people see you. You know? So when you get your identity stolen, it's not because they actually stole who you are. They stole who you are in a version of how people see you for your money. Having your identity stolen is terrifying because you don't know when you'll get out from under this. It's you. It's you. But the bank doesn't know that. You might as well show up to the bank like you just got home to see your wife and kids and there is an imposter next to the bank teller's booth right with you. Y'all might as well be shoulder to shoulder like, no, I'd like to make a deposit. No, I'd like to make a deposit. Because you also have to factor in what that money doesn't just do to the person, what it does to the people around them. Some of y'all may not remember this. I barely remembered it until I started just reading about people who had won the lottery and what usually happens. Because there's this myth that everyone that wins the lottery goes bankrupt and ruins their life. It's not actually true. It's about half. Which are better odds than winning the lottery. And the difference between the people who crash out and the people who do well are the decisions they make as soon as they win. And now it's almost down to a science. There are people who are financial advisors that seek out lottery winners to help them because they've done it for other lottery winners and stuff. But there was this one woman. It was crazy. This happened in the 90s. I think it was 1990, right? This woman was a server, and she got tipped a lottery ticket. And so she, put that lottery ticket in, and she won. She won $10 million. And then everyone around her turned. The people who were also on shift with her, they tried to sue her. Because I don't know if this is one of those restaurants where, sometimes you work as a server and everyone's tips are pooled together and then you split them at the end of the night. Or if it was just that they were saying that was their table. I don't know what all the lawsuits were, but I also know that the man who tipped her the ticket tried to sue her. Yeah. Her ex-husband even kidnapped her. And she had to shoot him in the chest. The chest is one of the wildest places to get shot. Because there's still some plausible deniability there, but you know where you were aiming. And then the IRS came for her, walls closing in all around money. Because people will do crazy things for money, and people will let the idea of money shape how they treat a person. Money is only second to people in the idea of something that's in front of you that means a bunch of different things. People can mean the whole range of emotions to you, but so can money. If someone won $10 million, if they won $1.8 billion, some people see that as money, but a lot of people see that as hope. They see it as power. They see it as like a salvation out of their problems. They see it as whatever your imagination can mold. Because there are some people that if you got given $1 billion right now, outright, there's so much good you do with it. And then there are other people that if you got $1 billion tonight, you'd be like, oh, I have some things to revisit. Now, $1 billion. $1 billion means, you could buy everything around a person.